Hey y'all, and welcome back. So I don't know where to begin. I honestly, I don't know where to begin right now. So there's a lot of back plans, going on. I've talked a little bit about Trump's back military, all right? So he created his own back military with General Mike Flynn after he pardoned him. Mike Flynn was supposed to serve a prison sentence. He was part of the Mueller investigation. And after he pardoned him, I think in terms of how Trump operates his little mafia, that means that he owns them in some way. So part of him pardoning Mike Flynn is also, I believe, directly connected to the insurrection, which the general that was standing next to Donald Trump was General Charles Flynn. It's funny, I was watching a reader yesterday and the name Charles kept coming up and I was like, I don't know a Charles. I couldn't think, I was thinking Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. I was trying to figure out the Charles connection, but okay. So that is the general next to him. Now, I know for a fact that there is still missing information around the insurrection because I saw them professionally being trained and scaling walls when I was doing a live reading, and I saw them at one of our military bases, which I believe was in Florida, which makes perfect sense because that ties into Mar-a-Lago and all of our corrupted generals. So I think that's that makes perfect sense to me in terms of what he did. So I saw him operating a back military, I want to say in the spring of 2024. I also saw in that back military, I saw Gabby Petito in that back military. Now, when I had the Brian Laundrie dreams, I saw a man who looked like he was a Proud Boy. He was in a black Jeep. He was in Florida, and he looked like he was hiding Brian Laundrie. And he had a POW flag on his Jeep, okay? So the POW is important because there's all these young guys with these POW flags. Why would you have prisoner of war flags? So I was seeing a prisoner of war ship off the coast of Florida somewhere. Now, I've also obviously tied a lot of this trafficking that's been going on to the prisoner of war ships and the military, okay? So that we are put into prison type military cells, and it is also connected to Havana syndrome. Now, Florida, Key West, I had seen Brian Laundrie there, is directly connected to, well, it's right across from Cuba, okay? So it makes perfect sense with the attacks on the U.S. Embassy in 2016 prior to the election. And now the connection to the military and the trafficking and the POWs, okay, which could be connected to the Proud Boys. Air Force is right across from Cuba. Okay, when I'm looking at I was looking at the bases. I know their Air Force has a military facility there. I don't know if it was the Navy is over there. I remember reading in 2021 and seeing something very important missing from one of our Navy ships. I also was getting messages around Pete Buttigieg, who is head of transportation. Previously, before Pete Buttigieg, Elaine Chao was transportation. Elaine Chao is married to Mitch McConnell, Kentucky. Okay, he was Speaker of the House, if I'm not correct. And I also had dreams of him connected to Gina Haspel, hatching up some kind of dark plans against our country. So, over the course of this YouTube channel, I had a lot of very dark dreams connected to what now, in hindsight, I realize was probably the overthrowing of our country. And that would probably explain why I had such a dark client come through around 2020, which was prior to the election, and had the interactions that I did. So let me just kind of like back this up, because there is just so much information that is just flying in right now. Because of the state of our country, I believe that I became sort of a hub, so to speak, for intelligence to communicate, because I think we were moving into like dark territory, red alert territory. I don't know if you guys remember, but General Mattis resigned, and that was a huge red flag moment. There was a lot of pinnacle moments in 2020. One was the crashing of the post office. That was a big red flag moment with DeJoy, I believe. He looked like some mafia guy. It looked like they were crashing the post office to essentially derail the presidential election, okay, in 2020. So that was very scary. Another pinnacle moment, which I believe was 2020, was Donald Trump being hospitalized. Because it was a day, I want to say, prior, that I believe Don Jr. did an interview with the Times. Don't quote me on that. This was a while ago. And he made claims that his father was mentally unstable. Okay? In the same interim, I want to say when he did come back to the White House, he was doing, I think he did a white nationalist type of salute, okay, when he came back. Now, I think it's pretty obvious at this point in time that he is, you know, a racist, okay? That he is connected, deeply connected to the KKK. I did just put on YouTube, I just put up the information that his father was arrested for being at a KKK demonstration in, I believe it was in 1927. And, you know, I believe that there are deep ties connected to his cabinet, Bill Barr, and other people. Where I have seen them wearing these hats and believe that they are all deeply connected, including many of his generals. So, with that in mind, that is part of the deep state of our country, which goes into the slavery, that goes back into the war, which is like escaping me at the moment right now, and I don't know why. It's like they're not letting me talk about the war. And I was there in the heart of that land in Franklin, which the Battle of Franklin was the bloodiest battle of the Civil War. And so I remember reading a lot of the gravestones, or not the gravestones, I believe it was like the information at one of the locations of the battle, and reading about the generals. And just, you know, my father was just would bash these generals. I mean, we would sit there and read their freaking, like, how they felt and what was going on, and he would go into just he would just start bashing them and just how ignorant they were. But I think that a lot of Trump's presidency was really kicking up the unhealed aspects of our country connected to that war, and just how bloody it was, and how I guess unhealed our country really still was, okay, in regards to everything going on. And I just don't think it's a coincidence that Trump is getting inaugurated on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And I also don't think that it's a coincidence, considering that he went up against an African-American opponent. I don't know why component came up. Opponent Kamala Harris, okay? So I think it is in true Trump style an FU, and I have talked a little bit about that on the last video with him attending the opening of Notre Dame. That is literally like letting Satan attend, okay, the opening of one of the most sacred places, you know, sacred, I don't know, I don't even know the word to freaking use for that. Notorious is what came up, but then I'm thinking like B.I.G., so I'm thinking Notorious, B.I.G., and Biggie. Biggie keeps coming up as well, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I was getting a drink the other day with some ladies, and one of them was wearing a Biggie Small shirt, and then I was somewhere else. I think I was on a YouTube channel, and Biggie came up again. Biggie keeps coming up. So whatever happened with Biggie, that's coming to the light, okay? And a lot of stuff is gonna come to the light. Anything that was unjustly done to anyone. Michael Jackson is coming up again. Prince is coming up. And again, there is a racial element to them as well, okay? Back to the racism. And I think that a lot of stuff is going to keep unmasking as we move forward. So, back to, I don't even know where I just went, honestly. So I'm going to clear these energies real quick because I feel like there's other people messing with my energies right now, which is who they are, because they want to turn us into robots right now. That's part of the freaking Elon Musk agenda. Pretty sure he's just an alien at this point in time. So, we have a KKK nationalist that is about to freaking go into the Oval again. Okay, I'm revisiting 2020, revisiting their dark agendas. I'm seeing the owl right now that is connected to former presidents. Okay, that is Bohemian Grove. Ryan Garcia came forward about Jeffrey Epstein and being at Jeffrey Epstein's island. I have still seen Jeffrey Epstein alive in some regard. I don't know if he's an alien. I don't know what he's doing, okay? But I have seen him actively working in connection to his previous corporation, Southern Trust. Southern Trust is in the British Isles and is a human experimentation lab project, okay? That essentially was Jeffrey Epstein's dream, was to have humans freaking hatch out alien babies through alien technology. So that was his dream. That was his freaking dream. I will tell you that dream is still being worked on with the help of these psycho billionaires, okay? I have gotten messages from my spirit guides or wherever, whatever, that Southern Trust has been moved into a new name, which is United Trust. When I looked up the name United Trust, and I was also getting connections to Bermuda, when I was looking that up, I ended up finding an investment firm, okay, which sounds totally in line to anything Donald Trump is connected to. It's an easy way to move money and an easy way to hide things. So I don't know if that actual company or business that I found is the one connected to the Epstein one, but I can tell you that I got attacked immediately when I found that information. I got attacked through the headset and weapons and stuff started going off on me. Okay, so that's all I can say. Now, this video is for entertainment purposes only, and I am a victim of Havana syndrome, which in true character, which I believe is connected to Epstein-Barr syndrome, even though they're saying the reports are connected back to Europe, okay? I just don't think it's a coincidence that their names are tied together. And Bill Barr visited Jeffrey Epstein a day before all of the cameras like mysteriously went off in his prison facility in Manhattan. And I don't know. I just think that it's a little strange that the syndromes keep coming up in connection to Bill Barr. Okay? So, let's just leave it there. Havana syndrome is not a syndrome. It is a weapon system, and it is a technology system that I believe is also connected to all of the military industrial complex and the MK Ultra programs. And the MK Ultra programs are connected to Space Force, which is out of Colorado. And I'm not sure if Space Force has moved since. I know that Joe Biden was trying to move I want to say they were moving Space Force. I'm not sure about that. I need to double check with that because I don't know if it's the same units, okay? Because the programs are out of Colorado. Now, those programs are directly tied to Florida and Texas, okay? And they're connected to the Bureau in Texas, the CIA in Texas, out of Dallas, and I believe Embry-Riddle is somewhere connected in with the Aeronautical University to those same programs in Florida. So Embry-Riddle is where they train the pilots for 9/11, and I believe it is connected right back to Manhattan and their deep state initiatives. And again, we can go back to prisoner of war ships, could be connected to the Navy because Eric Prince is a part of this network. Eric Prince is directly connected to Cambridge Analytica, which is directly connected to Mark Zuckerberg, which is directly connected to the 2016 election. Okay? In the selling and harvesting of data from Facebook users and weaponizing it. Everything that we provide on social media is used as a weapon, as a form of weapon. And it's just important for us to understand that the more information that you have on a person, essentially that data or that information leads to family members, leads to friends, and in turn translates into codes, numbers, and energies, okay? So I'll just leave it there. We've seen all the DNA get bought up, okay? 23andMe, they sold the DNA, and Ancestry sold the DNA, okay? So those are two huge companies that sold a lot of DNA, and that is part of these technology weapon systems. Also, I believe connected to cryptocurrency. So their agendas are nothing of the light. They are all alien. They are all space. They are all ownership of the human race. And Donald Trump is directly tied to all of those agendas. He is also for fracking, which I'm like, I mean, these people belong in nursing homes. I mean, honestly, they belong in freaking nursing homes, okay? And they don't want me to say that, but they are all freaking dinosaurs, okay? Fracking, have we not seen the fracking documentary? Have we not understood the dangers of fracking when it comes to drinking water, which is part of their attack on U.S. oil, is going after our drinking water? A lot of people don't know this, but sometime last year, there was a huge water issue in New Orleans, and they were not able to utilize their drinking water anymore. And they had to pay a premium for water, and it was a serious problem there, okay? That's just one example of this type of warfare on U.S. soil. And these terrorist plots go deep, because I believe that we have been compromised on a level that is so dark, connected to Trump's finances and his business enterprises, where he is no longer a free person, okay? So if we are watching this man going into the Oval Office, which he never actually left, okay? And I have talked about that. I have talked about that on here very candidly, okay? In terms of his back military. The United States of America is in a place of peril and has been under a serious form of attack. I have seen Putin through this device in our Central Intelligence, but not just our Central Intelligence, but around our top military officials, which I'm not, this is what it feels like energetically. It felt like I saw him in the Navy, okay? And our own U.S. Navy ships went under attack at the end of 2023. And we had 24-hour notice on that attack. We had notice, but our ships still went under attack by United Emirates in the Red Sea. I believe it was connected to United Emirates. And I can't pronounce the name of the other, like, the connection to that. If it's the Houthis, I can't pronounce that. So I'm going to leave that there. So that, I was getting messages, was an inside job by Donald Trump and his own military. His own back military has been operating against our own military. And that is why they did not come forward about Havana syndrome and its connection to Russian oligarchs until after General Milley left his post. Okay? Now, there is a whole hotbed of secrets within our military connected to Donald Trump's back military, General Mike Flynn, his Florida generals, and I'm hearing right now their allegiance to foreign dignitaries. There's a lot of secrets that haven't yet to come up. And I know for a fact that Joe Biden is aware of this, but I don't know why he has not addressed it. I don't know why he hasn't addressed it on the level that he should, okay? Because he has been forthright and spoken out against Putin. And he has spoken out about the Ukraine war. And he has sent aid, okay, to Ukraine and to the Gaza Strip. And he has had our military do that. But there is a whole other group, underbelly, that is not carrying out those commands, okay? And I don't know where we're at in terms of uncovering this. Look, I got a Page of Pentacles. That's all we got. That's all we got on that. That's not very positive. And I'm seeing crooked money coming through, mafia coming through, which I call Rafia because it's Russian mafia. And so what happens is that it's coming in through enterprise. He turned our country into his own enterprise through Havana syndrome, which is connected to auto manufacturers, the banks. They communicate through bank servers as cited by Robert Mueller, Alpha Bank. I've gotten really strong ties to Deloitte. Deloitte has a Russian bank. It's overwhelming. I don't know, like, honestly, like, I'm so overwhelmed right now. Like, I just, like, deep breaths, like, deep freaking breaths right now, because we are in a space that is so foreign to us right now. And I can tell you the agendas that Donald Trump is tied to are very dark, okay? They're very dark. And we have yet to uncover the level of that darkness because it has been masked by a lot of money. But already so many of those operations have been carried out, okay? It is not an accident that our meat farms in Texas went on fire, okay? It is not an accident that all of our egg farms now have gone under attack. It is not an accident that our water has gone under attack. It is not an accident that our food tastes very strange right now, okay? It is not, none of this is an accident. So I have the devil card coming in. It is not an accident that they created a top-selling drinking water called Liquid Death. Okay? That is now being sold at every single event across the country and is the only water being provided. I just looked up where it is manufactured and produced. It is Los Angeles, which currently is under fire. Okay? So I talked about the fires in my video yesterday linked to the fire of Notre Dame, the Tiffany's Manhattan fire, and Steve Bannon's business associate was apparently staying at that Manhattan building's fire. Okay? Not to mention the other fires and the explosion at the freaking chocolate factory while they were filming Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The leading star of that movie was Timothy Chalamet. Is that his name? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that. Chalamet, who was dating freaking Kylie Jenner, sister to the Kardashians. Okay? Her ex-boyfriend was a rapper, performer, and one of his concerts, there were mysterious, like, sudden deaths, okay, that happened at his concert, okay, after he played a certain song, apparently, okay, linked to their Satanism. Now, Balenciaga had a huge satanic scandal with the children who were dressed up in S&M leather outfits. And Balenciaga is directly connected to Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. They had contracts with Balenciaga, and that marketing campaign was taken down within 30 minutes. I believe there are deep ties to Putin, okay, connected to our media as a direct result of Donald Trump's businesses and contracts with them, okay? I believe he has dragged us through his debts, okay, connected to some of the darkest people in the world. Putin and Sergei Lavrov, who he shook hands with in the Oval Office as he was kicking out the U.S. media, in which was also before fake news ever existed. And now we have seen the warfare of fake news and the psychological warfare of it and the damage it has done, dividing family and friends from one another and creating essentially the mega regime and the deadly cults that followed. Okay? And we've seen that on our soil. We have seen that. We've also seen the rise in KKK demonstrations as a result of his presidency. And there was one in Virginia. It was Charlottesville, right? Right in his early presidency, okay? And he did not openly speak out against it. He waited a couple of days, okay? And that's not a coincidence. So I guess as we are moving into this time, there's a lot of people that need to start speaking because our country is under fire, literally under fire. Dolly Parton's song. And we need to start talking again, even though they have shut down many of the reporters, truth tellers, government officials with their Havana syndrome technologies and their MK Ultra programs, which they have paid billions of dollars for, connected to, I believe, Project Bluebeam, Pornhub, and, you know, their entire criminal syndicate that he created. Okay? The Jeffrey Epstein syndicate. Everybody got a piece of that. Everybody in his billionaires club got a piece of that. And I believe we are just the beta testers for it to go to the masses. That's something I've always believed, but I also believe because I have spoken out about it in such a way, in such a huge way, and I have talked about it and filmed and done everything I have, I believe that in some way I have thwarted a lot of those dark plans going out to the masses. And I will continue to keep doing that because I believe that everything has to come to the light. So I have said so much on this video, and I've probably said way too much, but at the same time, I'm in America, and it's a free country, and that is something that we need to stand by. We are home of the free and the brave, and we have to move through the fear right now, okay? move through the fear and start talking, I would say, and taking action to protect this country and our soil and what it really is supposed to stand for, okay? So I will leave you guys there. I am sending you guys so much love, blessings, light. Thanks so much for subscribing. Thank you for all of your donations. I greatly appreciate all of you. Thank you to all of my new clients that are coming through getting readings from me. I greatly appreciate that. And I will talk to you guys soon, okay? Take care. Bye.